Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is the complete review of the Infinix Hot S3 after 2 months. Just in case if you haven't heard about the brand name Infinix, it has been in India for a very long time. It is another brand like Xiaomi that disrupts the market by giving the users what they want the most. Last year they've launched the Infinix Note 4 with a huge screen and fast charging like any other phone in its price segment. And this year they're back with Infinix Hot S3 with primary focus on taking better selfies and better battery life. Now this phone is launched exclusively on Flipkart in two variants. Base variant is priced at 9,000 rupees for 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage, and the next variant is priced at 11,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. It's available in two colors, sandstone black and the blush gold. I have the black color and that's the one I would suggest everyone to get. On the black color, display on the whole looks more immersive, while on the gold color, you can see the bezels. Now coming to the design and build, this phone has a plastic build with a plastic panel on the back with a nice matte finish. It is slightly less slippery than the metal phones, but slippery nonetheless. Fortunately, we even get a free case in the box. On the front, it comes with a longer display with the new 18:9 aspect ratio with a 2.5D curved glass for protection. And we don't know the name of the glass used, but it's pretty good. I've been using this phone for the past 2 months without any screen guard or a tempered glass, and I couldn't notice any scratches. Now the bezels on the sides are slimmer. At the top and bottom, they are bigger just like the recent Redmi phones. Now above the display, we have the dual LED flash, which is a new thing. Next we have the earpiece, front facing camera and some sensors. At the bottom, it has a microphone hole, micro USB charging port and a speaker grill for the mono speaker. At the top we have just the audio jack. On the left it has a SIM card tray that houses 2 nano SIM slots and a dedicated SD card slot, which is one of its huge advantages when we compare with phones like Redmi Note 5 or the Redmi 5. On the right side it has the power and volume buttons made of plastic but still have a nice tactile feel to them. Even the power button has a nice texture to set it apart from the volume buttons. On the whole, this phone has a thickness of 8.4 mm and the phone just weighs 150 grams despite of having a bigger 4000 mAh battery. Just for a quick reference, Redmi 5, which comes with a metal build but with a smaller battery, weighs around 157 grams. So considering that, even though this phone is slightly thicker, still weighs less than Redmi 5. Now so far the only thing that I didn't like about the build is when I squeeze the phone, it gives out some small creaking sound, which can't be heard when we put on the case, but when we hold the phone naked and try to squeeze it, maybe hold it tightly, it makes that plastic sound and it can get a little annoying. Now coming to the hardware section, this phone has all the basic sensors including LED notification light, FM radio, a pseudo gyroscope and a fingerprint scanner. Fingerprint scanner on this phone is fast but not the fastest I've seen. It is actually able to read the finger quickly, but it's taking like a second to unlock the phone, which is definitely a software issue and Infinix might be able to fix that in the future. Now coming to gestures, we can use the fingerprint scanner to answer calls, record calls, take pictures using the stock camera application and dismiss alarms. But we can't pull down the notification bar, which I'm currently addicted to. I really wish all the phones that offer a fingerprint scanner on the back give us this option. You know, these phones are really huge and having that feature will be very handy. Now this phone also has face unlock. Well, right out of the box it doesn't come with face unlock feature, but after an OT update it did get face unlock and it does work without any problem. In good lighting conditions it takes like a second or two to unlock the phone, and in low lighting conditions it gives you the option to turn on the flash so it can see your face properly and then unlock the phone. That's a pretty good setup, but they should have gone with increasing the screen brightness and unlocking the phone quickly instead of asking us to press a button to turn on the flash. Well, if I could do that, I would probably use the fingerprint scanner instead. Now this particular feature is still at its infancy, so with some software updates it can improve. Now this is a SIM card tray and as I've already said, it can house 2 nano SIM slots, so it supports dual SIM along with VoLTE LTE, so you can use Jio without any problems, and you can also make and receive video calls directly from the phone dialer. I've used Jio and Vodafone networks on this phone and I didn't have any issues with call quality or signal reception. Now coming to the display, which is one of the most highlighting features of this phone, it comes with a 5.65-inch IPS display with HD+ resolution in the new 18:9 aspect ratio, protected by a 2.5D curved glass with 285 ppi and 81% screen to body ratio. Now this isn't the first phone to offer a full view display in this price segment, but they still offered it before Xiaomi, so they had a slight advantage in terms of sales. Now the display on this phone is pretty good, I don't have any issues. Viewing angles and sunlight legibility is good. For regular usage like browsing or using Facebook, I couldn't notice any pixels, but while playing games, especially the Asphalt 8 and the Modern Combat 5, I could see the lack of those pixels. On the whole, Display is pretty good for the price. Now coming to the camera department, on the rear this phone sports a single 12 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture with dual LED flash, and on the front it sports a 20 megapixel camera with Sony IMX376 sensor with f2.0 aperture with 82-degree field of view and a dedicated dual LED flash. By the way, this is the same camera that we see on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. I have already posted a dedicated video on the camera review. Do check it out for more information. Link for that is in the description. Now for a gist, rear cameras on this phone are pretty good for the price, and its front-facing camera is definitely one of the most highlighting features of this phone. As I've said, it has the same camera as a 14,000 rupees phone offered by Xiaomi, so you can definitely expect how good it is. You can take wide-angle selfies with good dynamic range, good color reproduction, but it has only one con, that it over-sharpens the picture. If you don't zoom in, it looks good, but if you zoom in, picture looks weird. Now this phone also supports portrait selfies, and here are some sample shots. Edge detection isn't all that good, but that can be noticed only when you zoom in, and once again, it can be fixed with a software update. Now coming to video recording, here's a sample footage from the rear camera. It looks decent, it can record video in 1080p using the front and rear cameras, but there's no stabilization, so the footage looks very shaky, but the footage quality itself is pretty good. This is the footage from the front facing camera. You get a wider footage, once again there's no stabilization, and the footage is slightly overexposed to make you look fair. So guys, on the whole, rear camera on this phone is good for the price, and the front facing camera is really good. With some software updates, it can perform even better. By the way, this is currently the best phone in its price segment if you are looking for a selfie-centric phone. Now coming to the performance, this phone sports a Snapdragon 430 processor with 8 Cortex A53 cores and Adreno 505 GPU. It's an entry-level processor built using the 28nm architecture, so it isn't as power efficient as the Snapdragon 450 seen in the latest Redmi 5. Now these are the Antutu and Geekbench cores. Now this is an entry-level processor and we can't expect too many things from it. Now with that said, because of good software optimization, phone feels very responsive. Yes, it takes some time to open applications, but the entire UI feels very responsive, so that's a great thing. I have the 3GB RAM variant, and out of the 3GB of RAM, we get about 1.4GB of free RAM and 23GB of free space for our user apps and user data. Now coming to the gaming performance, I have tried heavy titles like the Asphalt 8 and the Modern Combat 5. I didn't have any major issues with lag, but the visuals weren't all that good because of the HD plus resolution. While playing games, maximum temperature I have seen was 47 degrees, but because of the plastic back panel, phone didn't feel all that hot. And for 1 hour of continuous gaming, phone used just 15% of battery, so even in terms of battery life, phone is doing pretty good even while you are gaming. Now in my intensive heat test, phone reached a maximum of 51 degrees when I was taking pictures continuously for 5 minutes. 51 degrees definitely sounds a lot, but because of the plastic build, it cools down quickly as well. On the whole, this phone definitely offers pretty decent performance for the price. Now coming to the software section, this phone is running a heavily skinned version of Android called XOS, Hummingbird OS on top of Android 8.0 Oreo. It has been getting updates frequently and it has the latest March security patch, so that's a good thing. Now coming to the software features, they aren't many, but it does come with some software features like freezer, picture-in-picture mode, split screen mode, and so on. You can check out my video on best features of Infinix Hot S3 for more information on that. Now coming to memory management, it could have been better, it's just okay. On the whole, software on this phone is very well optimized. You're getting the latest version of Android, that's Oreo, and it is receiving regular software updates. Now coming to the audio department, this phone has a single speaker at the bottom and it is sufficiently loud. Audio experience on the headset is just average. There isn't anything good or bad to talk about it. Now in the battery department, this phone packs a 4000 mAh battery, comes with a regular micro USB charging port and a 10W power adapter in the box. It doesn't support fast charging and doesn't come with any fast charger in the box. It takes around 2 to 2.5 hours to completely charge the phone and you get about 5 to 6 hours of screen on time. For a normal user, this phone can last up to 2 days. On my regular day-to-day usage, which included Twitter, Instagram and playing Clash of Clans, this phone definitely lasted a day no matter how I used it. So that's a pretty good thing. So guys, to conclude, for a base price of 9000 rupees, this phone packs a full view display with the new 18:9 aspect ratio, the best front-facing camera in the price segment, along with portrait mode, a dedicated memory card slot, face unlock feature, Android Oreo, a 4000 mAh battery, and comparatively a smaller device to hold. Now coming to the alternatives, we have the Redmi 5 and the Redmi Note 5. Now if you want my suggestion, at a price tag of 9,000 rupees, if you are looking for a phone that takes the best selfies, then you can definitely go with this phone. If you are confused between the Redmi 5 and the Infinix Hot S3, I'll suggest you to go with the Infinix Hot S3 because you get better front-facing camera, portrait mode, bigger battery, and most importantly a dedicated SD card slot. Yes, Redmi 5 is more powerful than the S3, but the difference in performance is negligible when you think about the additional things you get with the Infinix Hot S3. Now if you compare this phone with the Redmi Note 5, which is priced at 10,000 rupees, yes, Note 5 is a better phone, more performance, bigger screen, better display, and better battery life. But you'll be missing out on selfies, portrait selfies, and a dedicated SD card slot. So considering the alternatives, go with the Infinix Hot S3 if selfies are really your priority, more than performance itself. Now if it was me, I really don't take a lot of pictures, especially not selfies, and I need performance. So I'll go with the Redmi Note 5. If my budget was strictly at 9,000 rupees, I'll definitely go with the Infinix Hot S3. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Will you buy this phone or the Redmi 5 or the Redmi Note 5? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone or any other phone, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.